In today's society, plastic is one of the most commonly used commodities. For instance, raise your hand if you used one of these single-use plastic products in the past week. With plastic being such a highly used commodity, there is an excessive amount of plastic waste being generated. Unfortunately, much of this plastic waste is ending up in our oceans, where it's breaking down into microscopic little pieces, spreading its toxic chemicals throughout the water and impacting oceanic and human life. These synthetic plastics, which are most commonly found in the oceans today, were first made in the late 19th century when there was a demand for a cheaper synthetic material that could replace natural resources. At this time, most plastics made were used in cars or stereos, but as time went on, plastic quickly revolutionized many different fields of products, leading to the creations of plastic water bottles and plastic bags. Since then, plastic production has skyrocketed, leading to plastic waste ending up in the oceans. One of the most common examples known today of plastic pollution in the oceans would be the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. As you watch this next video clip, think about how much you use plastic every day.
We've all heard about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Is it what we think it is?
So the Great Pacific Garbage Patch really is a misnomer. It's not a patch. It's not a mass. It's nothing you can see from space. All these things once heard. But in fact, it's just a giant soup, a gyre, a whirlpool of plastic in the ocean at various depths.
It is estimated that the plastic in the oceans today are causing more than 100,000 marine mammal deaths each year, a number that is almost certainly going to grow as years continue and more plastic pollution reaches the ocean. But this plastic pollution is not just destroying oceanic ecosystems, but also having negative effects on human health. This is because when the plastic degrades into tiny pieces called microplastic, some of them end up in the fish we people eat. Raise your hand if you or someone you know eats food sourced from the ocean. Now take a second to share with your partner which one of these effects you think is caused by digestion of plastic. Unfortunately, all these answers are correct. This is why if plastic pollution is allowed to continue at current rates, it will decimate all life on Earth, not just from affecting human health, but from destroying vital resources that humans rely on. Next video you are going to see talks about current and future plastic statistics.
The U.S. alone uses over 500 million plastic straws every single day, which is enough to circle the entire Earth twice. The most haunting part is that if production isn't curbed, plastic pollution will outweigh fish pound for pound by the year 2050.
If oceans are allowed to reach this critical point of plastic pollution, all life within them will be decimated. Not only will the oceans die, but any ecosystems that relied on them for food, of which includes humans. This grim future can be avoided though. The following PSA will show some solutions to combat this plastic pandemic. Sea life today is faced with certain death if nothing is done to combat plastic pollution. In order to stop this, avoid using single-use plastics such as grocery bags and water bottles. Instead, make a simple switch to reusable resources such as aluminum or glass water bottles and reusable bags. Steer clear from buying any products containing plastic, as supporting plastic production only further increases pollution. In addition to reducing plastic usage individually, it is important to work together as a community by following events. One of these events you can join is called Plastic Free July, where you reduce your plastic waste. A big picture solution would consist of many powerful nations coming together to fight plastic pollution and end it. Done through creating laws that minimize single-use plastic production and funding organizations aiming to clean up the oceans of today. This substance that is allowed for convenience and new possibilities is now taking away the possibility of a future, as it's found its way into almost everything on Earth, especially our oceans. If left unchecked, plastic pollution is sure to have extreme effects beyond the scope of predictability. That is why it is essential for the world to come together to reduce plastic production and plastic waste. I believe this is a very pressing issue because of the fact of how toxic and detrimental plastic is to the environment. not only just to the environment, but to my own health and the health of everyone in the world. And I think that if plastic pollution continues at this rate, we're all going to start to see some pretty serious health effects. I also believe that since everyone uses single-use plastic products, more needs to be done to educate people on the effects of plastic usage and how we can, preserve our earth.